Welcome to Night Shadows. I'm Stuart Best, where the paranormal is normal, where that which you thought you knew, you didn't, and where the future can be known if you know exactly where to look.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in and listening. We got Larry on for... I think we really do have kind of an emergency update here. Trouble is coming our way, and big-time trouble. I believe that what's going on with Harvey is just the very beginning, but let's get an update from Larry on Harvey first of all, and then we'll move maybe to North Korea and some other things that are going on that all point in the same direction, trouble coming this way. Hi, Larry. How you doing?
Hello, Stuart. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. What is the latest on Harvey?
Oh, that thing is just it's out. The eye is back out over the Gulf and feeding, and they're predicting more and more. They have a state of emergency in Louisiana because it's moving that direction, and they say the worst is yet to come, even in western Louisiana where they've had a lot of flooding. And they're recalling their Cajun Navy back to Louisiana because they said they're about to get hit by this same storm all over again. Matter of fact, and I wanted to mention this, they're putting out alerts. They're having levee breaches all around Houston. They've got 2 dams that are in trouble and water going over the top of the dams. And they're telling people to get out and flee as quick as you can. And they say they're having sinkholes everywhere, and the roads and bridges are collapsing. So I don't know how to put it any more delicate than that.
Well, if they're collapsing already and we're only at the very beginning, that's going to be total devastation. There won't be travel in or out. So everything will have to come in by helicopter, I would assume. But we now have proof, though, that Harvey is is a targeted, magnified hurricane by technology, by advanced technology. So are people leaving, or are they just trapped where they are? I mean, I know they're probably lying totally about the death toll.
Well, a lot of people are trapped where they are. They're trying to get them out by boat because that's the only way to them anymore. And I heard that Dallas now has said that they can put up lots and lots of Houston people if they can make it to Dallas. So I think they're going to begin busing large buses of people out. It's almost like Katrina all over. And what's ironic, Stuart, is a number of the people that left New Orleans during Katrina went to Houston.
Oh, boy. So they're in it all over again.
Deja vu.
Yeah. So it's out in the Gulf right now. How much more rain are they expecting to take place?
They seem to be expecting quite a bit, 8 to 16 more inches there in the area of Houston. The eye is out now. The whole thing is not. Part of it's still covering southeast Texas. Matter of fact, they made a remark, and you know better than I do the size of Lake Michigan, but they say yes. Southeast Texas now appears to be Lake Michigan, so it is massive.
Oh, wow. Well, and folks, don't forget they're targeting, and it was targeted, and I really do believe that this is being run by the numbers. For example, President Trump, as you know, went to Corpus Christi. He deplaned exactly at 11:29 Central Daylight Time. That's an 11:11. They're doing everything by the numbers. And this is a signature of the occult. It's a signature of very high technology that's being used. In fact, there's an article out. You can take it for what it's worth, but it does say that, how do I word this, that the Russians, and I'm not sure it's even the Russians, probably the Illuminati, have developed a high-tech weapon, and they've experimented with it, and it's been very, very successful. Now, evidently, whatever this thing is, when they drop it in an area, I guess it's got a lot of moisture, almost within minutes, it becomes a catastrophic flood event. I don't know what it is or how it works, but you remember Bill Cohen, Larry, who testified before Congress and said, yeah, there were people who had, he wouldn't name who they were, I think we know who they were, Illuminati, but whatever branch you want to talk about, rich men of the earth, however you want to word it, he said they had the weapons to make weather, hurricanes, steer hurricanes, intensify hurricanes, cause great earthquakes, cause volcanoes to go off, etc., etc. So this is probably weather warfare, but the point everybody needs to remember is that God allows it. It's like 9/11. Yeah, people did it. We know deep state did it, which encompasses the rulers of the world. Psalm 2, don't ever forget Psalm 2, because that's what we're watching, is the unveiling of Psalm 2, the apex of the war, and the culprit that or the person they're targeting actually is the body of Christ, the thought of Jesus Christ. And I think that's exactly why they gave a blow to Corpus Christi. What do you think, Larry? I think this is all arranged.
Well, what's interesting, when you wonder who's doing it, if you'll remember HARP up in Alaska, you remember when they actually, the military stopped using and experimenting with that, and they turned it over and allowed a private group to take it over. So we don't really know who's even running that.
Yeah, and remember the book Evil Fire Made to Burn?
Yes. Yes.
And he had to flee for his life. I think he's still alive, but
yeah, he's still alive, but he
name?
stays in hiding, and I think he stays in Asia mostly. He's afraid to come back.
Wow. And I have an article here. Houston officials lied. People died. Warnings of catastrophic flooding from Harvey were labeled false by the Houston mayor and officials and major media. And she got her information, she says, from an inside source. And she said, this is what she said, the storm is expected to be 3 times worse than what the news is saying, because they don't want to panic on the freeways like Hurricane Rita. So then they labeled what she had said as false news. Well,
yeah,
I guess
that's the way they do. Yeah, that's the way they do, Stuart. And also, I saw your Lightgate blogger post today, Harvey, Mothman, Illuminati, and Judgment Coming, and I saw those images that you've got on there.
Yeah. One of those images came from the event, wherever it was, where the bridge collapsed. He did a movie on it, and Greer was he was the major actor in that. That was real.
Yeah, Mothman, yeah.
Mothman. So we're seeing these Mothmen in Chicago, and they've been there for about maybe a week, not a week, a month. And all of a sudden we have Harvey, and what I was wondering, do you think that we're going to watch the destruction of Chicago or a major event of some type?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the projections. They're projecting this thing to really hammer, it appears, Louisiana and Alabama, and then move north. So it may project up towards Illinois.
Wow. Well, let's hope not. Let's pray not. I mean, those poor people, and it just brings tears to your eyes to watch it. And now we know that an entire family was wiped out for sure. Little kids, with their parents, and I think the grandparents died as well. Got, probably drowned. And how many more that we don't even know about? And the other thing is, are they going to tell us what the real death toll is?
I don't know if I don't even know if they know.
going to be months before they can find out, probably. Are they? I heard something about. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to mention they're too busy getting people out of there and getting themselves ejected from that flood to go looking for people. I mean, this thing is, and they say a lot of this water's now coming over the dams is headed straight for Houston downtown. So this is really going to be bad there.
Okay, let's switch over because we only did this for 15 minutes, but we got a deal going on here with North Korea. What's the latest on that? Kim evidently is really giving the finger to Trump and waving the red flag, hoping he'll do something about it. Is he looking for war, or what do you think's going on there? What's the latest?
Well, the latest is Yahoo News is reporting, and this is the latest. It says that South Korea is planning for an all-out war and the decapitation of the Kim regime, and they are in process of bringing that to the forefront. And at the same time, they're reporting that North Korea is planning for an all-out war on the peninsula, and they are already pulling all the children out of school and arming them and preparing for a major attack.
So Trump went back to Washington. What do you think they're going to do?
A lot of the data, Stuart, that I'm hearing in the background appears to be movement of necessary military equipment and armaments, and as a prelude to a possible strike. And the strike will come, it appears, from multiple nations. South Korea is really projecting to going in and taking down the Kim regime with the U.S. and Japan. Matter of fact, the UN today, the U.S. and Japan have issued a situation to ban all oil imports to North Korea, which Kim will declare war over that. So, this is bad. And China and Russia at the same time are in the background, and they're also moving military equipment.
So it looks like we could have war anytime. Folks, wake up. Harvey is a targeted and engineered hurricane. I think there's no question. I got a picture of the radar anomaly that showed up right where it was, and we now know that there's a new weapon out there that has been used and evidently been very successful. And so it looks to me like a 1-2 punch, maybe a 3 punch of water, maybe earthquakes, more water, we don't know, and war, nuclear war. So if you haven't prepared, now's the time to do it. In fact, it's really late to be doing it. And the price of gas is probably going to go through the roof. We've got about a minute left, Larry. What else would you like to say to everybody?
Well, apparently the pipelines of the energy flow of oil and fuel to the northeast and the east coast has been stopped because of this hurricane, and also a lot of the facilities are shut down, including the ports. Some of the ports can't take the oil tankers in, so we're going to have a real fuel problem, it appears.
So that means high prices, folks, which is going to be devastating to the economy. When you attack the energy and the ripple effects, that's not good, and it will spill over into jobs. It'll spill over into commuting and all of that. And here we are coming up on probably what's going to be a cold winter. I'd hate to think what the prices are going to be for that. Anyway, thanks a lot, Larry, for coming on. And we'll try and catch up either Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, depending on how things look. Anyway, appreciate you tuning in. And thanks again, Larry, for coming on. We'll see everybody later on. And take care. Prepare. Good night.